Hey Inky friends, it's Bailey from the Fountain Pen Ink Station. I'm so glad you could join me and join me along this new journey of pen March Madness. I'm doing a collaboration with Christyn over at Christyn Creates. I will link her down below. I hope you check out her videos. She's an amazing person and an amazing friend. So I just wanted to say hi real quick before I flip you around and get started for the pen March Madness. Everybody ready? Let's go. Welcome back, friends. It's Bailey from the Fountain Pen Ink Station. I hope everybody's having a great day or night wherever you're at. So we're back here with the March Madness pen. So I just want to show you guys March Madness pen edition. I'm doing a collaboration with Christyn Creates. I will link her channel down below. You can check out her video for her spin on this. So what we did is we each had 32 pens and we narrowed each other's pens down to what you see here. Oh, not this one. Sorry, friends. I was using that to write with earlier. So from what you see here, so this is what Christyn picked out of my pen lineup. And then she had pens and I picked pens out of her lineup, and she's taken those head to head on her channel. So on my channel, we have, in no particular order, the Pilot Pereira in a medium nib, the AdMock M800. I want to say this is a fine nib, the Opus 88 with a broad, my TWSBI 700R VAC with a medium nib, my TWSBI Espresso with a medium nib, my Momento Magico Leonardo with a medium nib. I have my Lamy Safari in a broad nib. Oh, it's the Lamy All-Star with a broad nib. My White Bear pens with a medium nib. The Aurora Ypsilon with a fine nib. My Sailor 1911 with a medium fine 21 karat. My Sailor Pro Gear in a Willow with a 14 karat nib. My Asvine medium, no, sorry friends, yeah, medium nib. This is the V126. My Kaweco Sport, All Sport in rose gold. My Banu Euphoria medium nib. And then I have one more pen to grab, so I'll be right back. Okay, friends. And then the last one, but not least, is the Papa J Studios in the Jade Mermaid resin with a medium Bach nib. All right, let's begin, shall we? So the first round is our Sweet 16, and I'll probably show it here on the video instead of on my iPad. So we have going toe-to-toe Banu Euphoria against the Opus 88 demo, and the Aurora Ypsilon versus the Sailor 1911 L large, the Leonardo Magico Sailor Pro Gear, the Maker Pen Battle Papa J versus White Bear Pens, the Dupe Battle AdMock M800 versus the Asvine V126, the Pilot Kakano versus the Platinum Preppy. You know what we're missing, friends? The Kakano and the Preppy. And then the Lamy All-Star against the Pilot Pereira, and the Kaweco All Sport against the TWSBI Eco. So, shall we begin, friends? After I grab the Kakano and the Preppy. 1 second, please. Okay, we're back. So, the first battle is the Banu Euphoria against the Opus 88 demo. So, let's move the pens out of the way, as much as we like the pens. Move move them, making a mess. Okay. So I'm going to show each pen and do a little writing sample. So the first one is the Benu Euphoria. This was my first Benu I got. It's a medium nib. My cats are driving me nuts, so if you hear them, that is them. This has just got a standard Schmidt converter. And then we have our Opus 88, which I did not clean out because I really like the ink in there. That's a broad nib. This is a very wet fire hose. My first Opus 88, my only Opus 88. So, without further ado, let's get to testing these out. And I gotta kick my cat off the chair, so 1 second. All right, on the right side, because I just do better that way. Okay. So for this, I actually have the ink that's in the Opus Butterfly Nebula from Colorverse to test out on my Euphoria. So let's do this without spilling ink. I think I already know which one I'm going to pick, but I just want to make sure that I give them both a fair try. Let's do a quote by Gandhi. Strength does not come from physical. Anybody else can't write and talk at the same time? Capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Remember that, friends. All right, this ink is kind of dry, so not super jazzed about having to test with it, but here we are. This is what happens when you don't clean your pens. All right, I'm gonna give this a good shake. We're gonna move it up. We've got our Opus 88 with a broad nib. We already showed that, but it's got a fun demonstrator. You can see the ink sloshing around. Already off to not a good start. There we go. We'll do the same quote. Okay, friends. I'm gonna give you a second to think about what you think that I will choose. And then I will tell you which one I choose. And then you have to let me know down in the comments if you agree with me or not. Okay. So friends, I am choosing the Benu Euphoria for various several reasons. Well, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of these eyedropper backfill. I just have not gotten the hang of it yet. I don't love it. Maybe at some point I will, but right now I don't. I love the converter. The nib is very smooth on the Benu. This handles shimmer like a boss. It just hands down, this is the winner. So for the first round, Benu Euphoria. So I'm going to put my, I don't know if you guys, let me back you out. I'll put my winners on the left side and my losers on the right. Okay. So the next one is the Aurora Ypsilon versus the Sailor 1911. All right, friends, before we go any further, Christyn and I both decided that we could have a fill-in, somebody who could get benched. I am going to bench the Sailor Pen for one reason and one reason only. This is a midpoint battle, so these midpoint pens should be anywhere from $100 to maybe $300 at max. This pen has a 21 karat gold nib. It's probably one of my pricier pens. It's a Crab Nebula. That's not a fair, I don't think that's going to be a fair comparison. So we're going to say goodbye to the Sailor 1911, not because you're not a good pen, but because you're disqualified. And we're going to substitute a player that hasn't had much playing time. That's the TWSBI VAC 700. So we're going to do the Aurora Ypsilon test first. And I have a test bottle of Waterman Inspired Blue. Move you back up. Oh, before I do that, let me show you the nib. In case somebody's not familiar with the Aurora Ypsilon. Can you see that? Let's see. It's a fine nib. It's not gold plated. It's just standard steel nib. It's got a standard converter cartridge. Comes with a converter. And then also, hopefully you guys can hear that. One more time. I love it. It is a very thin pen, though, if you are not a fan of thin pens. Okay, I almost forgot how to spell Aurora. And this is just called Orange. Orange Demo, actually. Okay. Sorry if I just moved the camera. And I'm trying to print my quote because I've heard from people in the community that you can see more shading come out when you write in print. Can't spell today. This is one of my favorite nibs. My favorite fine nibs. I don't have that many fine nibs. I prefer writing with mediums, but that is one of my favorites. All right, and then I need to compare it to one of my very first non-beginner pens, the TWSBI VAC 700R, and the Iris. I have mixed feelings about this pen. First of all, the nib is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Look how pretty that is. And she is a stunner. However, I am not very good at using vac fill pens. And that is probably a Bailey thing. That does not mean that you will not be good at them. Just I am not. They're finicky. They're harder to clean. You can see my barrel is stained from Yamabudo. Just, I have not loved using it. But I wanted to give it a fair shot because I have not used it in quite a while. Okay, friends. I'll give you a second to think about which one you think I might pick. I'm giving it to the Aurora. This felt a little scratchy to me. It was not as smooth. This has always been one of my smoothest riders. I have to give it to the Aurora. All right, the next midpoint, a little bit more on the higher end of the midpoint, is my Momento Magico, my Leonardo Momento Magico in matte black, and my Sailor Pro Gear in the Willow model. So I will show the Leonardo Magico first. I love this pen. This is my first Leonardo, and it probably won't be my last. You can see the nib. Medium, it's really pretty. Oops, still had some ink on there. And then it's a piston fill. So just fill it, then cleaned out. I actually just removed the nib unit entirely to fill in and clean it out. So let's do a writing sample of this. I feel like we're already going to be biased here, but we'll do the Sailor a good trip here. So the Sailor Pro Gear and the Willow, and that is a medium fine. I don't know if you can see it on there. It's kind of hard to see, but trust me, it's a medium fine. I did have this tuned at the Chicago Pen Show. I love my Willow pen. Willow trees have a very significant meaning for me. However, this nib is amazing. So easily, sorry Sailor, it's going to the Leonardo. So this is going to go in the loser pile. Okay, friends, let's do the maker battle. The next one is White Bear Pens and Papa J Studios. This was my first, no, I take that back, my second maker pen. My first maker pen was a Walltown Onslow. But this one's very special to me because green is my favorite color. And it was my birthday pen last year at Chicago Pen Show. So it's I'm a little biased on this one. It's got a fin heel in the cap. Let's see if you guys can see it. Little flower. Looks like a pineapple, but it's a flower. He does really amazing work, and it's a whole family. The whole family helps out with the pen, so it's truly special. And then converter fill. Let's test it out. The next one is the White Bear pens in the Ursa model. The resin is Pink Pony Club, which I think was actually a collaboration with Luke over at Papa J Studios. Same thing, converter. Standard size 6 nib. She's got her cute little bear on there. Isn't that cute? Medium. Alright, let's test it out. Okay, friends. I'll let you decide which one you think I'm going to pick based on what you've seen so far and what you've heard. Oh, friends, this was a hard one. I'm gonna have to give it to White Bear pens. That was a very, very smooth writing experience. I like how wide the nib is compared to the Papa J Studios. I'm gonna give it to White Bear pens. Okay, now the fun round comes in. We have the Admock M800 and the Asvine V126. So I'll do the first one, Admock M800. I bought this on AliExpress quite a while ago. It's a fine nib. It uses, oh, sorry for shaking the camera, a Schmidt nib. Can you see that? And it runs about, I think I paid $35 for it on AliExpress. So let's give it a shot here. And then I have the Asvine V126. This one is a, it's similar to like the Opus, the plunger fill. Same thing. I open up this one actually is kind of nice because you can open up the nib. And then, sorry, my cat's over here flying hair everywhere. I fill it that way. But here's the nib, medium. Friends, I think I'm gonna go with the Asvine. This was too scratchy. I'm curious, does anybody have one of these in a, what did I say it was? A fine Schmidt nib? Is yours scratchy? Do you have a similar experience or is it different? I would love to know. So for right now, it's going in the loser pile. Asvine goes into the winner pile. Okay, the next one will be interesting because, so these are like the beginner pens. Like when you go on the Reddit community or one of the forums, they say, what is the best beginner pen? These are probably some of the most common. There's a couple that are the next ones, but that are recommended. The Platinum Preppy and the Pilot Kakano. So I'm going to start with the Kakano first. And some people say Kakuno, Kakano. I think I've even heard it one other way. So, okay, let's do nib check, medium, make sure to smile, test it out. And I'll tell you, friends, why this is not my favorite pen to write with, but I'll show you afterwards. Okay, here's the other reason I don't love the Kakunos. They tend to dry out. They actually have these breather holes that's supposed to prevent choking. I actually took resin and sealed it, so it has actually helped quite a bit. So if you want to learn how to do that, I can walk you through that a little bit at another time. So I have a 5 nib that's Platinum Preppy's version of a medium. Sorry, it's still a little bit wet. My cat took my chair again. All right, well, let's carry on. Friends, I'm giving it to the Platinum Preppy. I know this is a very beloved beginner fountain pen. A lot of people love the Kakano. However, I really prefer to use my Preppies over this. I've used this way more than I have used the Kakano. I mean, I still have the sticker on it. I've had it for a while and it's, yeah, just doesn't get used very often. All right. The next round is the Lamy All-Star and the Pilot Prera. So this is like one of the original All-Stars. I think Sage is the cutaway. This one's got the black broad nib on it. See that? And then I have this still kind of inked. So I'm going to use that ink for testing. And that's a Mont Blanc Jane Austen. One of my favorite inks. It's really hard to get. So I'm going to clean my nib off really good. We'll change out our sample over here in my little Kermit the Frog. Keeping me from spilling and making a huge mess, which I would probably cry a little bit if that happened to my Mont Blanc ink. That's a nice writer. I do actually really like the Safari broad nibs. Only thing I don't like about the Safari All Stars or Safaris in general, is this obnoxious clip. How big that is. Like, could they make it a little smaller? Like, I don't know, the Prera size, which we'll do next. That'd be great. Okay. I'm giving it to the Prera. As special as this is to me, because my husband gave it to me, I just don't reach for it. This one goes in my purse. It comes with me everywhere. It does not dry out, or at least is not dried out with the the Mont Blanc ink. So this is going in my win pile. Put the lid back on that because I'm done with that one. And then the last battle, well, it's not the last battle, it's the last for this round, is the TWSBI Eco in Espresso and the Kaweco Sport, All Sport, sorry, in Rose Gold. All right, let's do this one first. Raw nib. Same nib that it came with. I have not replaced, I have not swapped it out. And then we line it up with the TWSBI Eco and Espresso. Oh man, I tied that in there tight. This one's got the bronze medium nib. Okay, friends, which one do you think I'm going to pick? If you said the Kaweco All Sport, you're wrong. I'm going to go with the TWSBI Eco. I think the TWSBI Ecos are a great workhorse pen. They handle a lot of ink. They don't ever dry out. So I'm going to put that in the win pile. Okay, friends. Round 2, the Elite 8. Can you guys see that? If not, I'll share it on the screen. I'm going to go faster through this round because I've already tested them all. But first I need to let my cat out because she is driving me nuts. Okay. So the first round is the Aurora Ypsilon and the Benu Euphoria. Easily, I think, Benu, because it handles shimmer like a boss. So that's the out pile. So our first winner of the Elite 8 is the Benu Euphoria. The next round is the White Bear pens and the Leonardo. Just for comparison, they're the same size. She does make a little pocket pen in case you have small hands and you prefer pocket size pens. I'm going with White Bear pens because it's a very, very smooth experience. Oh, that goes up here. I was like, what am I doing? All right, the next one is the Asvine against the Preppy. I got to change that on my thing. I have Kakuno winning, but Kakuno did not win. The Preppy won. I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with the Asvine because you can fill it easier and clean it. The one thing that you need to know about the Preppies is it's got a glued-in housing. So can you see this? That housing in there is supposed to be black. And my blue ink has just stained it. And you cannot take it out and clean it. One thing you can do that has helped for this is put it through a hydrosonic cleaner. And if I can find the one that my husband got me for Christmas, I can put it down below. Or at least I'll put the brand of it down. It's on Amazon. Oh, friends, this is hard. I need a minute. Okay, so I didn't take quite a minute, but I did a little writing test off screen here. I think because of how lovely this nib is better than the Euphoria nib. The resin is better than the Benu pen. For that reason, I'm going to go with the Pink Pony Club Ursa model. So it's the first one for the next round. And then this one is going to be an easy, clear winner for me. It's the Pilot Prera. I really like you, Asveen. You're a great beginner cheap pen, but you're also kind of finicky, and a new person might be a little intimidated by you. Okay, friends. We have the championship round, the White Bear pens against the Pilot Prera. Can the beginner pen dethrone the maker pen? But first, I want to give some honorary awards. So my first honorary award is going to go to the Benu Euphoria. It's the best middle point pen that you could probably find. It does not dry out, and it handles shimmer extremely well. So for that, it gets the Handle Shimmer Like a Boss award. My second honorary award is going to go to the, let's see here. It's going to go to the Pilot Prera for always tolerating my clumsiness. It's a great beginner pen. Okay. So, without further ado, as much as I like my Pilot Prera, for longer writing sessions, I do prefer to use this. Also, I have not yet tried any shimmers out in this pen, and I do worry a little bit about Pilot nibs in general, especially the smaller ones, for handling shimmer in their feed. I don't know if you guys can see the size difference. It's pretty vastly different. So for that, the 2026 winner for my fountain pen award for March Madness is going to Michaela over at White Bear Pens for her Ursa Pink Pony Club in a medium nib. Can we get a round of applause for White Bear pens? Okay, friends. So what we're going to do now is do a community post. So look for that. And then she's going to list her pen that she picked. See if I can do like a nice shot of this one. She's going to put the pen that she picked. And then I think we're going to pit our pens against each other. And then we're going to let the community decide what they would pick. But also, friends, I want you to tell me down in the comments, were you surprised by my picks? Did you disagree with any of them? And then also, what other awards would you have given to some of these pens? I would love to know. For now, be safe, be kind to yourselves, know that you matter, and stay inky, friends. Remember, ink is a badge of honor around here. There is nothing wrong with having some ink. Okay, friends, I will see you on the next one. Bye.